It is the middle of the night and you are not alone. Somewhere in a dream you will barely remember, a stranger is standing in front of you. You can see them perfectly. The shape of their face, the color of their eyes, the exact way their mouth moves when they speak. They feel completely real. And then you wake up. And as the dream slips away, one thing stays behind. You are certain, absolutely certain, that you have never seen that person anywhere in your life. So here is a question that sounds simple and is not. Where did that face come from? While you were unconscious, your brain built an entire human being from nothing, handed them a face you swear you have never seen, and made you feel like you knew them. And the real answer to how it did that is far stranger than the creepy story you have probably already heard. Because this happens to you every single night. Most dreams are crowded with people. Friends, strangers, people who feel familiar but you cannot place. Faces that are gone the second you open your eyes. Your sleeping brain is a casting director with an endless supply of extras. And nobody, not even the people who study this for a living, can fully agree on where all of them come from. There is one answer that has floated around the internet for years, and you have almost certainly seen it. It goes like this. Your brain cannot invent a face. It is physically incapable of it. So every single stranger you have ever seen in a dream is a real person. Someone you passed on a sidewalk, or stood behind in a line, or scrolled past for half a second and forgot forever. Your dreaming mind is not creating anyone. It is just pulling old faces out of storage. And then there is the darker version of this idea, the one whispered in comment sections, that the strangers in your dreams are not memories at all. That they are the faces of real people watching you while you sleep. It is a genuinely unsettling idea. It is also mostly wrong. Neuroscientists who actually study dreams, like Harvard's Deirdre Barrett, have pushed back on this hard. The dreaming brain is not a locked photo album, only able to replay pictures it has already taken. It is far more creative than that. It can pull features apart and rebuild them, exaggerate them, distort them, and yes, generate a face that has genuinely never existed anywhere on Earth. The flat claim that your brain simply cannot invent a face is a myth. And it is a myth that is almost impossible to disprove, because there is no way to photograph the exact face inside someone's dream and then check it against every stranger they have glanced at across an entire lifetime. The claim survives precisely because it can never be tested. But here is where it gets interesting. Because the myth is wrong, and yet the truth sitting underneath it is somehow even stranger. Deep on the underside of your brain, just behind your ears, there is a small patch of tissue called the fusiform face area. And its entire job, the only thing it exists to do, is faces. It is so specialized that it fires more for a single human face than for almost anything else you will ever look at. And when it gets damaged, something eerie happens. People lose the ability to recognize faces completely. They can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth, all the separate parts, but the face will not assemble into a person. Some of them cannot even recognize their own reflection in the mirror. The condition has a name: face blindness. It is a glimpse of what your entire world would look like if this one small region ever went quiet. Now here is the part that matters. From the moment you were born, this region has been doing something quietly, relentlessly, without ever asking your permission. It has been cataloging faces. Not just the faces you love. Not just the people you would recognize. Every face. Every single one. Think about how many that actually is. The thousands of strangers you have walked past on busy streets without a single conscious thought. The extras blurred into the background of every movie you have ever watched. The person 3 cars over at a red light. The face on a billboard you glanced at for a quarter of a second while thinking about something else. There is even a name for a specific version of this. The familiar stranger. The people you see almost every day on the same train at the same coffee shop and never once speak to. You would know them instantly if they vanished, and yet you know nothing about them at all. Your brain has been silently collecting all of it. Tens of thousands of human faces, most of which you have absolutely no memory of ever seeing. In fact, researchers have estimated that the average person can reliably recognize around 5,000 different faces. But recognizing is not the same as recording. The number your brain has quietly filed away, every face that has ever crossed your field of vision, even for a single instant, is almost certainly many times larger than that. A silent crowd bigger than most towns, packed into a corner of your mind that you will never consciously visit. And every last one of them is a potential character in a dream you have not had yet. Your best friend and a man whose name you never learned, standing side by side in the same nightmare, and you will treat them exactly the same. You are walking around with an enormous, invisible library of faces inside your head, and almost none of it is available to you while you are awake. Try it right now. Try to picture the face of a stranger you passed this morning. You cannot do it. That door is locked. But make no mistake, your brain kept them. Every jawline, every expression, every fleeting glance, filed away somewhere below the level of anything you would call a memory. And then night falls. Your body goes still. The logical, sensible fact-checking part of your brain powers down for the night. And that library, the one you can never open on purpose, gets thrown wide open. This is the moment the strangers are born. Your dreaming brain reaches into that vast archive, and it does not pull out one whole person. It pulls out fragments. The jaw of a man you stood behind in an elevator a decade ago. The eyes of a woman from a photo you scrolled past last week. A voice, an expression, a particular way of tilting the head. And it stitches these pieces together into someone so smooth, so seamless, that you would swear on your life they were a single real person. A stranger assembled from the forgotten pieces of dozens of real ones. That is why the stranger in your dream did not feel invented. Your fusiform face area was firing in exactly the same way it fires when a real human being is standing in front of you. Your brain was not showing you a sketch of a person. It was running the complete, full-color experience of meeting one. And sometimes it goes further. Sometimes it hands you a feeling of certainty, a total conviction that this is your best friend or your mother or someone you have known for years, even when the face looks nothing like them at all. Because the feeling of knowing someone and the actual face of that someone are stored in different places in your brain. And in a dream, those two things quietly come apart. That is the source of that strange dream logic, where you just know who someone is, even though they look like a complete stranger. So who was the stranger in your dream last night? The honest, uncomfortable answer is that you will never know. Maybe your brain built them out of nothing, a person who has never existed and never will. Or maybe, and this is the part that lingers, they were assembled from real people. Real faces, real strangers you crossed paths with years ago and forgot within seconds, quietly living on inside you, waiting in the dark to be put back together. You have no way of telling the difference, and neither does anyone else. And here is the thought that should follow you out of this video. It is happening right now. Today, on your way somewhere, you will pass dozens of faces you will never consciously remember. The barista, the man on the escalator, the driver beside you at the light. You will forget every one of them before you even get home. But your brain will not. It is filing them away this very second. And some night, months, or even years from now, one of them is going to walk back into a dream, wearing a face you are certain you have never seen. You are not just watching this crowd. You are building it. So no, the strangers in your dreams are not ghosts. They are not people watching you sleep. But the truth is not exactly comforting either. It means that nothing you have ever seen is truly gone. Every face you have ever crossed paths with, even for a fraction of a second, is still in there out of reach, remembered by a part of you that you cannot open on command. You are carrying a silent crowd of every human you have ever glanced at. And every single night, your brain opens the doors and lets them walk back into your life for a little while. You just never recognize them, because to you they were only ever strangers.